For context, this creepy encounter with a stranger happened about 2 years ago. To start this story, you should know that I worked for a retail chain. It was a combination of a sandwich place and a gas station. At the time, I just recently moved, so I had a bit of trouble getting to and from work. To help, my mom would drop me off on the way to her own job and then pick me up when she got out. Since I used to live in the same town that I was working in at the time, I knew it quite well. There was a park close to my old home that I liked going to, so I would often go there after work and wait for my mom to get done with hers so that she could pick me up. This all happened on a day that I was waiting at this particular park for her. I'd finished work up around 4 o'clock, and so I took the half-hour walk to the park and resigned myself to waiting on the bench for my mother to arrive. She wouldn't be done at work herself until around 5 o'clock, so by the time that I got there, I had a good 45 minutes or so to wait. When I approached, I noticed a few people sitting on the benches, and they were talking, just enjoying the nice day. There was a tall, lean, dark guy sitting all alone. He smiled widely at me as I walked towards the vacant bench. I didn't think anything creepy or abnormal at the time and just offered a polite smile back before I took a seat. I'd been sitting all alone, playing around on my phone and listening to music for about 10 minutes. That's when the man decided to get up and walk over toward me. He plopped down right next to me and turned in my direction, saying something that I couldn't quite make out. I mean, I couldn't even hear him, so I took an earbud out and looked over to the stranger, apologizing and asking him to repeat himself. He proceeded to greet me, saying something along the lines of, "Hey, do you live around here?" I told him
No.
that I lived in a different town. When he asked where, I lied and gave him the name of another place. As I told him this, I was glancing around and noticed that other people at the park had already left. It was just the two of us. It was this stranger, no, this creepy man, and myself, sitting together on that bench. That's when it occurred to me, he must have waited for everyone else to leave before coming over. Yeah, that definitely sprung a huge red flag. After I answered his question, he introduced himself. He said his name was Ronnie. Trying to stay polite and avoid any potential trouble, I told him
It's nice to meet you.
I was hoping to just go about some usual pleasantries and then have him simply leave me alone. Unfortunately, that's not how it went. Things got really uncomfortable really fast. He asked me my name, and I stupidly told him what it was. He said it was a nice name. I dressed for the gym, as I had planned to go there after work, and my hair is curly and thick, so I had it pulled into a big, fluffy bun so it wouldn't get in my eyes. "That your real hair?" he questioned, pointing at my head. I told him that yeah, it was. He then asked, "Can I touch it?" Even more alarm bells started going off in my head at this point.
No, please don't.
I nervously replied. Despite my declination, he began to reach out, as if to touch it. I quickly moved away, inching further along the bench. He scooted over, trying to get closer to me. As I was speaking, I saw him notice the braces in my teeth. He smiled once again, taking the inappropriate conversation even further. You have braces?
Yes?
Do they get in the way? You know, when you kiss someone? I cringed at the question, again declining with a very nervous,
No.
His question was followed up with him asking if I had a boyfriend,
Yeah, I do.
which was true. Yeah, but it's not like you're married, right? You're not married yet.
No, but I'm still very faithful to him.
The conversation got stilted there. I began texting my sister to tell her about the situation that was unfolding. After a few moments of silence, he gave me another grin. Can I kiss you? My heart was pounding, and I quickly shook my head to desperately decline his proposal.
No, please don't.
I said again. I can't tell you how scared I was. It was then that my phone started ringing. It was my sister. Thank God. I eagerly answered, speaking to her casually so as to not give anything away. I was hoping he would see me clearly on the phone and just take a hint. But no, of course I wasn't that lucky. The entire time I was speaking to her, I kept hearing him talking in the background. I could hear him still asking to touch my hair, along with other creepy things like that, over and over. I kept saying no as politely as I could. My sister started to kind of rant on the phone. She was saying how she could hear him and that he should leave me alone already. Since I was trying to be subtle, I was worried he might hear what she was saying and get angry, or worse, violent. Thinking quickly, I told my sister that I was gonna call Mom and see how far away she was. When I hung up and began to dial, I felt a wave of fear as I heard his voice start speaking again. Who was that?
My sister.
Oh, is she pretty too? Again, this creep was smiling the whole time as he spoke. I was scared and just ignored him, instead trying to focus on quickly calling my mom. A sigh of relief washed over me when she finally picked up. I asked how far away she was, and she told me it would be about 5 more minutes. As another bit of context, we had watched a special on Investigation Discovery about a girl who was taken and didn't survive. The two of us decided to come up with a special code to say to each other if we felt like we were in danger. Since neither of us bake, we came up with a sentence that sounded rather casual. Our code was to say,
I was thinking about baking a cake.
and so that's what I said into the phone. It didn't register right away for her. I mean, it's not like we did this often. It took a moment for my mom to realize what I was saying. Once she realized, she said,
Oh, all right, don't worry, I'm almost there.
I told her to please hurry, and then hung up. The next couple of minutes were agonizing. Ronnie was still continuously trying to talk to me. At this point, he was trying to convince me into getting a kiss, or into letting him touch my hair. Each of these were followed up with me again, just saying
No.
I wanted to run, but I was terrified in that he might chase me. I had no idea if he was hiding something dangerous that I just couldn't see. I just wanted out of there. My mom finally arrived, and I bolted right out of there. I ran from the bench straight to her car, almost throwing myself in the back seat. I locked the door, put my seatbelt on, and looked out the window with a mixture of fear and relief. He was smiling once again, and he waved to me as he stood in the grass. After that creepy encounter, I decided to never wait at that park again. Instead, I stuck to hanging out in the break room at my job, at least until my mom could arrive to pick me up. Thankfully, I've since transferred to a store that's closer to me. So, Ronnie, Mr. Creepy Stranger, please, let's never meet again. Extra commentary from Another Tale. So, spoiler warning. In case you couldn't tell, that obviously wasn't me that did the dialogue for the author. Thankfully, those were graciously done once again by the awesome Nikki Nightmare. Just like me, she's another up-and-coming channel within the new wave of YouTube scary story horror narrations, and one that I think is personally absolutely great. If you haven't given her a listen yet, I really suggest checking her out. I've added a link to some of her videos in the card shown above. You know, something that the author of the story mentioned was that her and her mom came up with a secret phrase in case they ever felt like one another was scared or in danger. Honestly, I think this is a great idea for any family. Having a plan in case of trouble is really a good idea, regardless of who you are. I recommend considering something similar if you haven't already. And as always, I hope you enjoyed this true and creepy story. If you did and you want to hear more, consider subscribing, commenting, or liking the video. Every little bit helps this small channel grow, so that a wider audience can also hear these creepy stories. And if you made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Entertaining people is why I do this, and so I hope it entertained you. If you didn't like it, don't be afraid to tell me. I mean, I'm someone that believes all feedback is helpful, whether it's positive or negative. Until next time, take care, and please, stay safe out there.